My dear students, today I am going to discuss a basic introduction to thermodynamics, sixth unit in plus one. I am Dr. R. Gunasekaran, Professor of Chemistry, taking class for you. Thermodynamics. What is thermodynamics? How will you define this? Thermodynamics is a branch of science that deals with the quantitative relationship between heat and work, and also interconvention of one kind of energy into another form of energy in the universe. This is called thermodynamics. Thermodynamics also will be discussed in physics also, but they will be discussing in different way. Okay, let me continue. Whenever we define thermodynamics, we should not forget the first law. That is the law of conservation of energy. What is the law of conservation of energy? Energy can neither be created nor destroyed. Neither be created nor destroyed. We cannot create any matter, energy, or we cannot destroy energy. But it can be converted from one form of energy to another form in the universe. This is the law of conservation of energy. It is noteworthy that all other forms of energy can be completely transformed into work. Please follow. All other forms of energy can be completely transformed, converted into work, but heat cannot be completely converted into work. This is the most important information. Keep it in mind. Question can be asked. Now, so in order to have a clear idea, let me discuss my own way. The first, the thermodynamic terms, and then the laws of thermodynamics I want to discuss, so that there will not be any confusion at all. First, let me concentrate on thermodynamic terms. Number one, universe. Number two, system. Number three, surroundings. Number four, the properties, thermodynamic properties. Number four, process. Number six, internal energy and change in internal energy. 7, enthalpy and change in enthalpy. Continues. 8, heat capacity. 9 only laws of thermodynamics we will discuss. Then we'll go for entropy, and finally Gibbs free energy. These are the important thermodynamic terms we are going to discuss. Kindly follow. First, let me take universe. What is universe? A system and its surroundings are called universe. A system and surroundings are called universe. You can ask, what is a system? Any object under investigation is called a system. Any object under investigation is called system, or matter simply, system. Except the system that we are studying, all the remaining things in the universe are called surroundings. The system and its surroundings are called universe. So now you have a very clear idea. Suppose let us assume this is the entire universe. Inside we are studying only the system. As the surrounding, this is the except system, all the remaining surroundings are there. So many surroundings are there. So when you call universe, system and the surroundings are called universe. So I already informed you what is system I defined. Any object under investigation is called system. So depending upon the nature of the system, I can classify into three types. Number one, open system. Number two, closed system. Number three, isolated system. So let me discuss each system with a suitable example. First, let me kindly follow now. Universe, which we have already discussed. Universe, a system and its surroundings is called universe. System, any matter and investigation is called a system. I have already discussed. Now I have to concentrate only for open system. That is the number one. What is an open system? An open system is one from which mass and energy can be transferred to surroundings and vice versa. Kindly follow. Suppose this is the universe, this is the system, there are surroundings. Kindly follow. So if the system is an open system, kindly follow, from which mass and energy can be transferred. So here I have to give one important information. Both the system and surroundings are characterized by mass, energy, and they have occupied characteristic space in the universe. This is the most important thermodynamic idea you must have. Okay, a simple example for open system I can give you. A cup of hot tea, a cup of hot tea or coffee, tea or coffee. You can just take an example. So before starting that, let us assume the total weight of the cup and coffee or tea, and also we will note the temperature. After 1 hour, let us assume, after 1 hour, and if you weigh again, if you note the temperature and mass again, you can identify that there is a difference. There is a loss in energy. There is a loss in energy means temperature will be low and the mass also will be low. So where this mass and energy has gone, it has gone to the surroundings. That's why it is called open system. In the form of water vapor, it is going to the atmosphere, so there is a loss in mass. In the form of radiation, energy, heat energy is transferred to surroundings. Kindly follow. The second one, example, is closed system. A closed system is one from which energy but not mass can be transferred to surrounding and vice versa. Kindly follow. Very, very important. A closed system is one from which energy but not mass can be transferred to the surrounding and vice versa. Because here a system is a closed system. Kindly follow. It is a closed system. This is a system completely closed. Inside we are keeping a cup of tea. We are keeping a cup of tea. Before putting inside a closed vessel, we are weighing the cup with the coffee and note the temperature. After 1 hour, let us say, you again just open the system. That is, now is the closed system. Now you can again weigh the system. Then you can observe that mass, there is no change in mass. But energy will be is coming down. That means temperature will be low. The meaning is, a closed system is one from which energy can be transferred, but not mass will be transferred. So a cup of tea in a closed container is an example of closed system. A third example, isolated system. An isolated system is one from which neither mass nor energy will be transferred to surroundings and vice versa. So there is a system, it is placed inside a closed container. Again, let us say a cup of tea also, let us say. It is in a closed container. It is thermally insulated. Thermally insulated. Thermally insulated means radiation will be prevented. A thermoflask is a specific example. So if we take this example, what will happen after 1 hour? There will be no change in mass, no change in heat energy. That means that is called isolated system. So now we know very clearly what is universe, what is system, what is surrounding, what are the types of system. So now we have to study the properties of system. So normally whenever you say specifically system means, you must know in your mind, is it a open system, is it a closed system, is it an isolated system. Normally in chemical laboratories, when we are doing any chemical reaction in beaker and conical flask, anything, it is a open system. So generally most of the 90% of the reaction will be conducted only in open system. Assume, unless otherwise it is informed it is a closed system or isolated system, we will consider it always open system. Right. So when you come for the properties of system, I can classify the property by 2 ways. Based on mass, I can classify. Based on the nature, I can classify into 2 types. What way? Suppose based on the mass, I can classify. What way? Depending upon the mass. One is intensive property, another is extensive property. That means any property of a system in thermodynamics which is not depending on mass, it is called intensive property. Not depending on mass. What are the non-depending on mass? We can say density, viscosity, surface tension. So these are all, we'll call it as intensive property, independent of mass. I will prove that by taking the density as the independent of mass. Say, let me take example. What is density? Mass by volume. Let me take here 1 gram by 1 ml. Let me assume density equal to 1. Suppose I will take 100 gram by 100 ml of water. Again it is 1. Density is 1. So it is not depending on the mass. Previously 1 gram, now 100 grams. It is not depending on the mass. Very, very easy to understand. Kindly follow. There are a number of other intensive properties are there, you have to memorize. Because question may be asked, one among the following is an intensive property, one among the following is an extensive property, may be asked. So what is an extensive property? An extensive property is one which depends on mass. What are the depends on mass? Kindly follow. Temperature, pressure, in the case of gases, volume, gases, energy, internal energy, the enthalpy, entropy, then Gibbs free energy. So these are the terms, thermodynamic terms. These are the properties, kindly follow. It is depending on mass. So depending on temperature, depending upon the mass, the temperature will vary. Suppose I take 1 gram of a solid, if I heat, and I take 100 grams of a solid, I heat, automatically time will vary. So they are not same. So the temperature depends on mass. Kindly follow. Same in the case of gases, pressure and volume. And other property, internal energy, enthalpy, entropy and free energy, Gibbs free energy are all extensive property. So extrinsic property is one which depends on mass. Kindly follow. And another way I can classify the property based on the nature. Nature means the state property, another is path property. What is mean by state? State mean I can say solid state, liquid state, gaseous state. So these will call it as state. Kindly follow. So depending upon the nature of solid state or liquid state or gaseous state, the property will vary. The second case, another is path property. So now let me say, what is a state property? Any property which depends on the state of a system, which depends on state of a system, whether it is solid or liquid or gas, then that is called state property. All extrinsic properties are examples of state property. That means temperature, volume, pressure, energy, internal energy, enthalpy, entropy, Gibbs free energy. These are all examples of state property. Kindly follow. What is path property? There are two. One is heat, another is work. Heat and work are examples of path property. They are called path property. Please have it in mind. So let me go for next. So example I am giving now: intensity property, density, specific gravity, viscosity, refractive index. Then extrinsic property, the list I am giving: temperature, pressure, volume, internal energy, enthalpy, entropy, and Gibbs free energy. All this I have discussed. Coming over state property: temperature, pressure, volume, internal energy, enthalpy, entropy, Gibbs free energy. And path property I have informed already: work and heat. So all these things I have discussed. Now, coming for the types of process. Dear students, kindly consider or kindly listen me. Suppose there is a system. Let me say there is a system A. So this A is characterized by its property. That is, we know the energy, we know the mass, we know if it is a gas, we know the volume, we know the mass, everything like that. Suppose I want to convert the system A to B. I want to convert from one state to another state. Kindly follow. State 1, this is state 2. Kindly follow. State 1 to state 2 means it may be from solid to solid, or it may be solid to liquid, or it may be liquid to liquid, or liquid to gas, or even gas to gas. So everything is called state, conversion of state, from one state to another state. So whenever we want to change the state from one state to another state, we have to do some process we have to do. So that process we are going to classify that is called the types of process. Suppose I am heating is a process. I am cooling is a process. Kindly follow. So these are the types of process. So let me come for what are the process types of processes. Whenever a system changes from one state to another state, it changes its property by changing any one of its variable. Variable means property. Through different processes. 3 different processes. Kindly follow. Now, these processes I can classify by 2 ways. One is based on condition I can classify. Based on the direction I can classify the process. So, process I can classify by 2 ways. One is based on the condition in which I am doing the process. I will call it as a different name. Based on the direction in which it is moving, I can call it as a different name. So, let me first discuss the types of process based on condition. One is isothermal process. 2, adiabatic process. 3, isochoric process. 4, isobaric process. 5. Endothermic process. 6. Exothermic process. Kindly follow. Based on the direction, I can call it as a reversible process, irreversible process, cyclic process, spontaneous process, non-spontaneous process. So let me go one by one. First condition, second direction, one by one in detail. Please follow me. First, let me take now types of process based on condition. Isothermal process. Iso, same, thermal, temperature. So the temperature is constant at delta T. Let me say delta T equal to 0 at constant temperature. That is the meaning of that. Isothermal process is one where temperature is kept constant. That is delta T equal to 0. That is called isothermal process. Any process that is conducted at constant temperature is called isothermal. For isothermal process, I can give two equations for work done on the system or by the system. For example, for isothermal reversible process, kindly follow. Isothermal reversible process. What is meant by reversible? Suppose solid ice is converted into liquid water. So liquid water can be converted again solid ice. This is the reversible. What is irreversible? Suppose you take calcium carbonate and heat in an open container, calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide gas will escape into the atmosphere. So it is not reversible, it is irreversible. So you must know the difference between reversible and irreversible. So for isothermal reversible process, we have W reversible equal to minus 2.003 nRT log V2 by V1. Log V2 by V1. Kindly note this equation. Problem will be asked under this. Second one, for isothermal irreversible process, now W equal to 2.003 nRT log again V2 by V1. Instead of V2 by 1, we can also, you can give the P1 by P2 also we can substitute by using the Boyle's law. Anyhow, now one important information I want to mention here. When I start this NEET chemistry, the first slide, first chapter, I was introduced, that is determination of log and anti-log without using calculator I have given. So if you have any doubt, go there, the first slide, and you can view that, you will get the experience. Okay. Now, adiabatic process, second one, based on condition. Adiabatic process is one where energy is neither absorbed nor released. That means delta Q equal to 0. That means the system is thermally insulated. Thermally insulated. Thermoflash example. Then, number 3, isochoric process. Isochoric process is one where volume is kept constant. Volume is delta V is kept constant. That is, if you are using the same container, a closed container, then delta V equal to 0. Then fourth one, isobaric process. Please hear the sound. Baric stands for P, pressure. Isobaric process is one where pressure is kept constant, delta P equal to 0. So, at what condition we are conducting or converting the system from one state to another state, based on that we are giving different processes. Let me continue further. The next one is endothermic process. Endothermic process is one where delta H equal to positive. Delta H equal to positive. It may be forward, it may be backward, but it is always positive value. Delta H should be positive. Exothermic process is one where delta H equal to negative. So it is the condition. Kindly follow. So this is the conditions. Now let me come back. the differences between endothermic and exothermic process, what are the differences I can give? Because question can be asked based on this one. First one, I will take heat property. Endothermic means absorption of heat takes place by the initial state, that is by the system. Absorption of heat by the initial state takes place. So the system will absorb heat, endothermic. Whereas evolution of heat by the initial state takes place. So the system will release the energy. That is exothermic. So absorption of heat, release of heat. Number two, energy of final state. The endothermic process final stage will be possess high energy. Exothermic possess low energy. Then third, physical transformation. Generally, endothermic will be melting of a solid. Exothermic will be freezing of liquid into solid. These are the differences between these two. So let me come for the reversible process. That is based on the direction. Please follow the second type. Based on the direction. For example, this you have studied already. H2 gas plus I2 gas react in a container, closed container. So I will form 2HI. It is a reversible reaction. Because it is a closed container, depending upon the temperature, it will vary. So reversible process one where initial and final states are in equilibrium. So equilibrium is possible only in closed container, not in open container. Please follow. So this is possible when changes are taking place very, very slowly. Example, conversion of ice from water and vice versa. The next one, based on direction, second one, irreversible process. Irreversible process is one where initial and final states are not in equilibrium. Many of spontaneous processes are irreversible. That is water flowing from hill, raining. So another specific example is heating of calcium carbonate. If you heat in an open container, it will produce copper oxide plus carbon dioxide gas. So this is solid, this is also solid. Since it's an open container, this will go to the atmosphere. So it is not a reversible one. It is irreversible. Please follow. Okay, next. Another important process based on direction is cyclic process. That means delta U equal to 0. So cyclic process is one where a system will come back to original state after many series of changes. For example, I am starting with state A, moving to B, going to C, going to D, and coming back again A. In all cases, whatever energy is involved, when I come to finally A, if I calculate total energy, delta U equal to internal energy, that will be 0. Please follow. This is called the cyclic process. Now, let me point out the differences between irreversible and irreversible processes. 1. Reversible processes is a slow processes where equilibrium is maintained between system and surrounding. Irreversible process is a fast, spontaneous process. There is no equilibrium between system and surrounding. That is number 1. Number 2, direction of process. Here in reversible proceed both direction, forward as well as backward. But irreversible proceed any one direction, either forward or backward. That's all, only one direction. Driving force. In the case of reversible, it is very, very slow force. This is the large and the definite force. Work done. In the reversible process, work done will be greater. In the irreversible process, it is very, very smaller, spontaneous. Change in surrounding. No change in surroundings in the case of reversible. There is change in surroundings in the case of irreversible. So these are the differences between reversible and irreversible process. Now, let me concentrate on change of a system, state of a system. So, how a state of a system changes from one state to another state. I told you already, solid 1 to solid 2, it is also a change of state. Liquid 1 to liquid 2, it is also a change of state. Gaseous 1 to gaseous 2, it is also a change of state. And fine, and then again solid to liquid, again change of state. Liquid to gas, again change of state. Solid to gas, again change of state. All these is a change of state of a system. So during this process, actually, three important factors are involved. They are responsible for the change of state of the system. One is work done by the system or work is done on the system. Depending upon this, the state will change. Heat, either absorption of heat or release of heat, the system will change. State of the system will change. Energy, either absorption of energy or release of energy, again state of the system will change. Now, I will go in detail of individually. First, let me take work. So, work is an important parameter. It will change the state from one system, from one state to another state. Let me define what is work. Work is defined as the product of force and the distance of displacement. That is product of force, that is the work. Kindly follow. W equal to F into D. F force and D displacement. That is physics point of view. This is you are studying. Now let me classify this work into three types. One is gravitational work, electrical work, and third mechanical work. You must know these differences. What is gravitational work? W equal to mgh. Nothing but mg, nothing but force. So h is the height. So this is gravitational, mean F into h or mgh. Now I can give gravitational work. Electrical work means it is Q, the quantity of heat absorbed or released, and the potential difference, V, voltage. Mechanical work, P, pressure, delta V, change in volume. This is also mechanical work. Kindly follow. The sign of convention of work. Work is done by the system negative. Suppose a system is doing some work means it will lose energy. Say for example, I am early morning. I am just after getting over from the bed. I am let us calculate my total energy. So for 1 hour I am doing some exercise. Then before doing exercise, if I can weigh, and then after doing exercise I can weigh, I can see there is difference in grams, kilocalories, energy will be lost. Because the work is done by the system. I am doing some exercise. So, work is done by the system, negative, lose energy, decreases. Work is done on the system is positive. Kindly follow. Okay. These two important parameters, kindly remember. Now let me go to heat. Heat is a form of energy. Characteristic of heat is, it is an algebraic quantity. As in the case of work, it is a path function. Due to temperature change of the system, heat changes. Whenever temperature increases, heat increases. Whenever temperature decreases, heat decreases. It is due to absorption of heat. Kindly follow. Sign conversion, as in the case of work now, work heat is absorbed by the system, positive. Energy increases. Heat is lost by the system, Q, negative. Sign convention. Now let me come for energy. This is another important thing. When I come for energy, I can give two important energy. One is internal energy, another is enthalpy. This is the most important we must know about in the thermodynamics. What is internal energy? The energy stored in a substance by virtue of its constituent particles. The constituent particle may be atom, may be molecule, may be ion, anything. It is called internal energy, usually represented by U or E, capital E. Some books will use U. The CBSE books and other books are using U, capital U, and previously it was using capital E. So whether it is U or capital E, you assume that it is an internal energy. Okay. Now what are the components of internal energy? One, translational energy, that is due to motion. Rotational energy, due to rotation. Vibrational energy, due to change in the bond length, vibration. Coulombic energy, and the interaction energy of constituent particle between proton, electron, proton, etc. So, if you take any system, for example, even an atom is a system. So, if you take anything, if you measure all these energy in a system is called total internal energy. Okay, now let me go for change in internal energy. What is the change in internal energy? That is delta U is the change in internal energy. Thermal changes, thermal means temperature changes, at constant volume is constant, are conveniently measured in terms of internal energy. So what I can say, initial energy is 1, U1. So the final energy is 2. So what is the change in internal energy? So if U2 is greater than U1, then automatically delta U equal to U2 minus U1. Kindly follow. So how it is possible? If there is absorption of energy takes place, U2 will be greater. So U2 minus U1, automatically delta V. If delta U is positive, endothermic. If it is negative, exothermic. We have already discussed. Now, same way, let me come for enthalpy and change in enthalpy changes. Thermal changes, kindly follow, measured at constant volume, it is internal energy, whereas thermal changes measured at constant pressure, it is called enthalpy. That is the difference. So if you are measuring U at constant volume, whereas the H means at constant pressure. That is the difference, please have it in mind. So thermal changes measured at constant pressure is called enthalpy. Thermal changes measured at constant volume is called internal energy. Okay, so that is usually represented by H, enthalpy. Definition, according to definition of H equal to U plus PV. Now, let me take a simple example for two different systems, that is two different states. Let me state one. For example, I can take this way. H1 for system equal to U1 plus P then V1. Kindly follow, pressure is constant. H2, I am changing any one of the variable, the delta H value changes. So this is changing in the form of U2 plus PV2. So now I want to find out the difference. H2 minus H1, that is equal to U2 minus U1, then plus P, I take it outside, V2 minus V1. Kindly follow. So how from this what I can write? H2 minus H1 is nothing but delta H. Then U2 minus U1 nothing but delta U. And P into V2 minus V1 P delta V. This is at a constant pressure. Please follow. Very, very easy to understand. So, I am using this, the change in enthalpy, I am getting this equation for at constant pressure. Please follow. This can be applicable for solids as well as liquids. But when I apply for gases, this I cannot use. I have to use this equation. This is applicable for gases. That is, instead of P delta V, I have to use delta U plus delta nRT. Delta N is the total number of moles of products minus delta N equal to total number of moles of products minus total number of moles of reactants. Kindly follow. So that is the delta N. Delta nRT. So P delta V equal, instead of that we are using now delta nRT. Delta N, this is the different. Total number of moles of product minus reactant. So let me give a simple example. You understand now. Say let me write now. Kindly follow. PCl3 on decomposition reversible barrow. So PCl5, PCl3 and Cl2. So right side 2 mole, left side 1. So here I can use nowadays delta N equal to 1. 2 minus 1 equal to 1. Because product 2 mole, the reactant 1 mole, 2 minus 1. So that means delta nRT means nothing but RT. Please follow. Okay, next. If the delta H is equal to positive endothermic, as in the case of internal energy, and negative exothermic, kindly follow. Next, let me go for another important term involved in the thermodynamics, heat capacity. What is heat capacity? Heat transfers from one system to another system. This heat appears a rise in temperature of the system when it is absorbed by the system. Suppose you are having a metal, you supply energy to that heat to this, so automatically the metal temperature will increase. So the increase of temperature is proportional to heat absorbed. Or I can now give an equation Q equal to C into delta T. That is where C is called heat capacity. C is called heat capacity. That is, Q is directly proportional to delta T, change in temperature. So in order to equate, I am putting C into delta T, where C is the heat capacity. Kindly follow. Thus, we can measure the heat supply by monitoring the temperature rise and C. Kindly follow. Now, or I can write C equal to Q by dt, delta T. Heat capacity is directly proportional amount of substance. Therefore, C I can write Q divided by M into delta T. So instead of this macro, I will go for micro, molar heat capacity. In that case, micro, I will write C small m equal to C by N. Heat capacity divided by number of moles. So molar heat capacity may be defined as the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 mole of the substance by 1 Kelvin. That is called molar heat capacity. Now I want to give some 2 important equations here. Molar heat capacity at constant volume will be given by Cv equal to du by dt at constant volume. Molar heat capacity constant pressure is equal to Cp equal to dH by dt at constant pressure. Cv and Cp are molar heat capacity at constant volume. Cv molar heat capacity at constant volume. Cp molar heat capacity at constant pressure. So another most important equation here, I am not derived that. But you must know only this. Kindly follow. Cp minus Cv equal to R. Problem may be asked based on the equation. Kindly follow. I hope I can come to the last one. Dear students, thank you very much for the kind cooperation you have given so far. Dear students who are viewing the YouTube, kindly click, share and subscribe if you are a new beginner. First attempt, subscribe. Students who are waiting for NEET and examinations, +1, +2 or +2 completed, kindly visit our Vetri.s. So our center is Vetri Coaching Center. Our site is Vetri.s. And if you enter our home page of Vetri.s, you can see our achievements for last 20 years. A few achievements I will tell. One, every year 15 to 20 students from through our coaching center are entering into JIPMER. And 150 to 200 students are going to other medical colleges every year for the last 20 years. In 2003, R. Srinivasa Raghavan, a student of the Patrick School in Pondicherry, he came All India first rank in JIPMER through our institute. In addition to this achievement, I want to give them the main feature of Vetri.s. Vetri.s site has 200 video lessons are there, 50 lessons in each subject, recorded lessons. You can take notes directly. You can hear notes, take notes, everything you can do. You can stop the video, you take the notes. And second thing, you have 200 tests, unit tests. Each unit have 45 questions. Kindly follow basic, for example, thermodynamics, in thermodynamics there will be 45. So there each unit have 2 unit tests. So all questions that we have taken only from for the 20 years of IIT, AIMS, AIPMT, MSET Andhra, Delhi, Karnataka question paper only we have taken. So all our question bank containing previous question papers. So what is the experience we had for the last 6 years? We observed minimum 75 to 80 questions of same question repeated in NEET. This is a very, very important feature of Vetri.s. So minimum 300 marks you will get because of Vetri.s. And if you can put an effort, you can get the 300 more. Easily you will come to All India rank, 600 plus you will get. Another most important review in our Vetri.s, after completing the test, each unit, if you press review, you know correctly, your answer will be in blue color, correct answer will be in yellow color. So easily you can identify your answer is correct or wrong. And the another important thing is, all answer solutions are not like as in the case of other All India, the website. We are keeping only video solutions. That means professor will take class for 10 to 15 minutes. He will take class with suitable slides, suitable notes. Everything will come there. But if you go and see another All India online coaching, only minimum 2 to 3 lines will be there. That's all solution. So the most important among them all, we are very, very cheap. So only 10,000 we are collecting per year for the 4 subjects. Very cheapest, but very quality, suitable quality. So those who are interested, dear students, so kindly pay rupees 10,000 in the name of Santi, Indian Bank account number 7127194771, IFC code IDIB000P134. And any doubt, contact me 9894176425. Thank you. We will meet again.